This is a second stimulus check and stimulus package update for Tuesday with great news as the CARES Act continues to deliver new stimulus packages to you and putting money in your pocket. Two big developments today. First, the Main Street Lending Program, which could put $215,000 in your pocket, went live. And yesterday, the EIDL grant and loan, which can start at $1,000 in your pocket, went live with viewers of this channel already getting that money. If you're new to this channel, please like and subscribe to this channel and drop your comments below, and we may feature them in tomorrow's recording. And hit the bell on the front of this channel so you get an alert when a new second stimulus check or package update goes live. Let's recap where we are. As you know, members of Congress are generally not in session this week, but the chatter is heating up, and it is very good news. Over the weekend, several members of the Trump administration said that a second stimulus check and stimulus package will be approved. The Trump administration is behind it. Kellyanne Conway, Pete Navarro, Steve Mnuchin are among the four people who over the weekend said yes, the Trump administration wants a second stimulus package. First, Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin indicated on Monday that he is pushing for more PPP lending. The second part is Pete Navarro, and he was asked specifically about a second stimulus package, and he says absolutely going to happen. Element of great news. Well, that came from Kevin Hassett. He says that he sees a second stimulus package being passed about in July. So the final voice came from White House counselor Kellyanne Conway. He's very clear about looking at phase 4, possibly infrastructure, more relief for distressed industries and individuals. Repeat, and individuals. And yes, they want it to come to you. What are we talking about, and what are the possibilities? First, the amount of money appears to be falling somewhere between the Democrat and the Republican proposals. The Trump administration wants exactly the middle ground. Second, the Trump administration wants the check to come to you, and it appears that everyone will be getting a $1,200 stimulus check. Members of Congress are not in session generally this week, so what's really going to happen is you would see this check in the next coming weeks at best when members of Congress reconvene. Second, the hazard pay still is on the table. This is an additional $13 per hour that is put on top of essential workers' normal hourly salary. Third, the extension of the $600 per week of federal benefits. This was a big topic of discussion this morning on CNBC with analysts on both sides. And you know what they said? They all said we have to continue it. It is indisputable at this point that the extension of the $600 per week for unemployment or pandemic unemployment assistance has to be and will be extended. And I'll tell you why. This is really good news. No one thinks that unemployment is going to be cured. No one thinks that unemployment is going to go right back to where it was in February. It's a false hope. So at this point, they really want to put money in your pocket, which is great news. They want to extend the $600 of pandemic unemployment assistance or UI benefits per week from the federal government in the coming weeks into January. What's good about this is that if you have lost your job, $600 would be on top of your weekly state or local, your state benefits, which are about $130 to $169 per week. They're currently going to run out in July, but the good news is that most sides now really think they have to extend that benefit. The other proposal appears to be quite exciting because the Portman plan, $445 per week, even when you go back to work, on top of your work salary, appears to be gaining speed and could be passed in addition to the extension of PUA benefits. Why is this good? Let me explain. So, as was discussed on CBC this morning, it's very well understood that there's two types of people at the moment. There are types of people who went back to work, who had their jobs to go back to work, but aren't making the amount of money that they made before the pandemic. That's why they need a supplement, and this is really good news. $445 per week on top of what their weekly salary is now back at work. Second, there are those people who sadly lost their job and don't have a job to go back to. They need federal assistance. So the extension of the $600 per week is absolutely needed. No one thinks that we're going to leave them out to dry. So that's great news. That is an extension into the coming months past the July expiration date. Next, student loan and debt. It's currently on hold. Payment of interest and principal has not been due paid because of the CARES Act. Well, the HEROES Act wants to extend that into January and maybe forgive some debt. Finally, there is all this exciting, great news about the stimulus check and stimulus package that came in yesterday and this morning. First, the EIDL loan grant and portal, which has been the core of this channel. If you are new to this channel, thank you for joining. It is now reopened. So if you did not apply for the EIDL grant or loan before, you can apply now. Moreover, if you applied before, you can also apply if you have a separate and distinct business. If you don't know what that means, click the link above and we will cover that in tonight's grant video, EIDL grant video. It's a lot of money. How much money is it? Grants go up to $10,000 if you have 10 employees or more, and loans can go as average of $220,000. They can go as little as about $5,000 to $7,000. If you're new to this channel, I will remind you what I've taught my other viewers, which is loans of $25,000 or less are not collateralized. That's great news. It's a 30-year loan. It's not collateralized. You don't have any interest or principal due in the first year. Also great news. Also, the final thing that's really wonderful about it is if you don't need it, you can hand it back and there's no early repayment penalty. Finally, the Main Street Lending Program. Oh boy, this is really great second stimulus check and stimulus package news. No one's been talking about this as much as LALATE. We detailed it as early as March. Today it went live. We did a video about it earlier today. The Main Street Lending Program gives you $250,000 to start with no principal due within the first 2 years to be repaid. 2, no interest to be repaid in the first year. 3, no early repayment penalties. So if you don't need the money after 2 years, you can just hand it back. It's underwritten by the Fed. It is written by your local federally insured banking institution like a Chase or Bank of America or Wells Fargo. And finally, this is really great news, is that this $250,000 will hit your bank account within 3 days. Can you imagine? So we have here the EIDL loan program, which can give you up to $10,000 for grant money in your pocket within 3 days. The EIDL loan, which can give you hundreds of thousands of dollars over 30 and not need to be repaid for 30 years. And the Main Street Lending Program, which can give you $250,000, and it's brand new. It just went live this morning. So there's no concern that the funds are going to dissipate or disappear. It's all there ready for you to go. All this, and boy, we're still not at the details of what Congress is going to pass. If you have questions about today's second stimulus check or stimulus package update, drop them in the comments below, and we love to answer them. As always, stay with LALATE for more.